Hello, and welcome to episode number 13 of the AwesomeAlgo podcast. Today's guest is Ahmet, and he is a front-end engineer at Hipo Labs, the team that is behind the Pera Wallet and, of course, Tinyman, and many other interesting things to name a few. I would also, of course, mention Tealish that was announced by CTO of Hipo Labs Fergal back on the Cypher last year. But today's topic would mostly be around the recent release of the web version of the Pera Wallet. As many listeners in the Algo ecosystem may be aware, Pera was initially transferred to a different team. Initially, the product was named as Algorand Mobile Wallet, then there was a transfer of ownership, and it has been available on mobile platforms for a while. And now Hipo is doing a nice move by also introducing a web version for that. So Ahmet is here to talk about the journey that the team went through with the implementation of the platform, and to just say a few things in Turkic languages for our guests. So once again, merhaba, or as you would say it in Kazakh, salam alaikum, and podcast'a hoş geldiniz. And the floor is yours, Ahmet. Let's start with the biography. What would you say were the first areas of computer science that really sort of caught your interest?
Hi everyone, I am Ahmet Bugra Yigiter. I am front-end developer at Pera right now. I am from Turkey, and I started this area with writing with Java, with learning at school. During the part of the pandemic, I was only writing Java and I was doing backend projects. Then I started to deal with frontends, and frontend started to feel more than others. And I tried to develop few open source projects with frontend and JavaScript. Then I applied frontend internship at Hipo, and I met with Algorand here. I have been working on Algorand projects in Hipo for about 2 years. I have also worked in projects like Algorand governance before. I am currently working on projects mostly. That's all about me.
Interesting. So, what would you say about your education in computer science? Are there any interesting angles on how it shaped your background and like general goals in the industry?
Right now, I am currently working at the same time. I am both studying and working actually. I am senior computer engineering student at Gazi University, Ankara, Turkey. And computer science usually referred to computer engineering in Turkey generally. Mm-hmm. And I want to study computer engineering because I have been very interested in computers since I was a kid, most children. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in this field. While I was studying, I chose the front end, and I am here now. And I hope to graduate this year from my school.
Nice. It's certainly, I could imagine the amount of interesting activities that you're involved with while also, contributing to Hipo. But speaking about Algorand specifically, since this is a podcast that is mostly oriented on the Algorand ecosystem to highlight prominent projects here, could you tell us and our listeners a little bit about how did you first learn about that blockchain, and what was the spark that sort of drew you to the technology?
To be honest, I didn't know much about Algorand before Hipo. However, my entry into Algorand ecosystem through with Hipo was quick, because in my internship period, I'd worked on Algorand governance, and I learned a lot about Algorand here. Then I worked on the Originals Only project for a period. If you don't know Originals Only, this is NFT project based on Algorand blockchain. At this time, Pera was mobile wallet, and I didn't involve Pera yet. After that, I started working with Pera Pera Explorer and essay verification. Right now, as a Pera, we currently developing many open source projects in web area.
Nice. And yeah, okay. So I guess you sort of also covered the kinds of projects that you are working on, the Hipo Labs. So I guess at this point we could sort of start leaning a bit more towards the deep dive on the Pera Web, the Pera Web Wallet. So as an entry to this section, then I guess would be nice to also hear your own like personal definition of a Web3 wallet. So if you were to define in your own generalist terms what Web3 wallet is in general, how would you describe it for folks who aren't familiar with this notion?
By the way, we are working on different projects at Hipo. I want to mention it before.
Oh, sure. Yeah, feel free.
To Web3 wallet. We are developing some open source projects as a front-end, Hipo front-end team, like React UI toolkit and create React app template. These are actually projects we are using in our own projects, and people can use that as well. And that's all about the projects on Hipo. We can go with Web3 wallet.
I see. So I suppose it's some sort of scaffolding setup that you could quickly deploy and have some sort of starting point for a D app.
Yeah.
I see.
We have a template for it.
Nice. So yeah, let's proceed. In your own terms, how would you define, or what would be the definition for a Web3 wallet in your own words?
I think Web3 wallet is software application that allows user to interact with decentralized applications on Algorand blockchain mostly. We have a different chain, but we are on Algorand blockchain right now. And user can manage their assets such as Algo and other tokens built on Algorand network with these wallets. Web3 wallet provides users with a unique Algorand address and private key, mostly, and which are necessary for sending, receiving, and storing cryptocurrency. And Web3 wallet may also include other features such as ability to view, manage smart contracts, and interact with decentralized exchange and participate in decentralized finance, DeFi applications like TinyMan. Currently, there are multiple wallets in Algorand ecosystem. Most of them continue as either mobile wallets or web-based wallets. As far as I know, Pera is only the product that offers both mobile and web wallets-based wallet on Algorand ecosystem, I guess.
So in this case, I briefly mentioned it in the beginning, but could you also walk us through the evolution of the Pera wallet? From the origins, when it became Pera wallet, after the Algorand mobile wallet title, and of course, the events that led to the introduction of the new web-based version as well.
Pera wallet has significant evolution since its beginning. Originally, it was official Algorand wallet developed by Hipo in collaboration with Algorand and launched in 2019. In February 2022, I guess, Hipo took over the operations and partnerships and integrations while continuing to design and develop the mobile apps and infrastructure. Rebranding it's as Pera Wallet. Today, Pera Wallet is the most popular Algorand wallet and core partner to other products in the Algorand ecosystem. It's a commitment to open source development and close engagement with the community. With the new name came a fresh look, but the team's commitment to open source development and being a core partner to other products in the Algorand ecosystem has remained and unchanged. The Pera Wallet team is dedicated to listening to community and building features that benefit users and successful projects in the space. We are listening our users' Discord all the time. We are very active in our Discord server. In addition to evolution from the Algorand wallet, Pera has also been working on contributing to ecosystem security with ASA verification program. I am working on this program, by the way, and developing cutting-edge NFT support, and launching Algorand governance NFTs, and native swap integrations with TinyOne and Pera Discover, and the brand new Pera Web Wallet. These features and initiatives have all been designed to provide users with a seamless and user-friendly experience while interacting with the Algorand ecosystem.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks for a nice overview in there. So, talking specifically about the web version, then what would you say are the main advantages of the web version compared to the mobile app, and what was the general sort of reasoning behind also introducing a web version? Was it purely out of let's say the need to get a higher reach to your audience? Because of course web is certainly something that is accessible through most electronic devices these days, so I suppose that could have been one of the factors, but yeah, would be interested to hear as well on the sort of the motivation behind this.
I think Web Wallet has some advantages compared to mobile wallet. Like, as you know, bugs can be found in the most software projects. How hard we try to, these things never happen, but unfortunately they can occur in some cases. Even though we develop quick solutions as a bot teams on the mobile side and on the web wallet side, sometimes its reach to user may be delayed due to store release in mobile side, because they have to wait Apple Store approves it. Our advantage on web wallet side is that we can actually deliver these solutions to the user more quickly. But at the end of the day, as a bot teams, we try to solve our users' problems quickly. Our biggest goal on both sides is to provide a usable, simple, and beautiful interface for users. As a result, I think our main advantage is to deliver solutions to user, deliver solutions to faster to user. And Pera Web Wallet provides user with an unparalleled level of control and security. With the both versions, users have full access to their private keys and manage their assets with the greater security and ease. Pera's web version also opens up the world of possibilities, providing users with access to a wider range of centralized applications, DeFi services, and NFT marketplace, as well as more detailed portfolio tracking and analytics systems.
I see. So, if we were to talk a bit more about the stack, because I'm pretty interested about a bit more technical details behind the implementation as well. Could you go a bit more and describe some information about the kinds of front-end stacks that you guys are using for the web version, the kinds of libraries, or as well as, say, testing methodologies used in development of the web version?
We are using React and TypeScript as a main stack in Web Wallet. Generally, we use our own libraries for UI like React UI toolkit. We also use Algorand JS SDK for some utils in Algorand ecosystem. Apart from this, we use a few more util libraries like DataFNS. This is for formatting date values. For those who want to see more details, our project is open source and can be examined in detail. For testing, we have great QA team. We are working with them all the time, and we are write some unit tests in front-end side and back-end side. We give a lot of importation to testing process in Hipo and Pera. And for that's all about stack and testing.
How about things like, say, quality assurance testing or end-to-end testing? I wonder if there are some interesting ways in which you guys are applying, validation of actual user flows and things like that.
Our QA team is doing end-to-end user testing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
They try both mobiles, apps, and web wallet version. They try on all of the browsers in web wallet, and they try a lot of mobile phones for mobile wallet. We try to test all of the things and all of the environments in Hipo and Pera.
I see. Maybe just as a side note, I'm sure you guys are also actively involved in the ecosystem as well, but I recently did a contribution to a repository called AwesomeAlgo, which is something that the folks at the TXN Lab behind the NFD domains maintain, and essentially, I mean, it's a wallet aggregator using React hooks, but the contribution I did was adding a mnemonic wallet that allows you to basically easily automate, interactions and simulate user flows using things like Playwright from Microsoft, or things like Cypress, or, of course, Selenium. So perhaps just, as a note in case you would ever start dealing with automation, I think flows like that should be pretty easy and straightforward now with technologies like AwesomeAlgo, basically. But yeah, let's continue a little bit on this front. Were there any particularly, interesting stories, or in regards to the implementation, or what were, I would say, the most challenging things? I suppose web version is completely separate code base, right? I believe you guys have a native implementations for iOS and Android, so I suppose Web Wallet was something that perhaps reused something from those implementation, but it's a completely separate code base. So I could imagine that there was a lot of interesting challenges there as well.
I think I faced with a lot of challenges in this process. The most challenging part for me was the connection with the centralized applications. We use our own open source project for it, ParaConnect, and the centralized applications can't use both web wallets and mobile wallet by using this library. One of the biggest challenges in this threads was to create a package that could be used by all the decentralized applications. We used the web components for creating Connect, which has not been used by our company before. And I tried to learn web components, and we did connect with web components in the end. The second challenge for me was the transaction flow. I work on it. As you know, there are many decentralized applications in the Algorand ecosystem, and they all have different transactions types, different transactions mostly. When you make such a wallet, you should display every transactions correctly, but you don't have too much to do for test it. Because you currently do not have a chance to test in a live environment. With that, with what we have gained in this process, we have been developed decentralized applications. Example works with Pera Wallet. Here you can, in this example, you can find examples from different centralized applications and multiple transaction examples like different transaction type like asset config or asset transfer. I think we did a good job here too. These are some challenges I faced. I have a lot of very good teammates, and I think they have challenges as well. But end of today, I think we did a good job as a team.
Nice. Yeah, and I mean, after trying out both mobile and over the past, well, pretty much since I started exploring Algorand and recently after trying out Web Wallet, yeah, I especially would like to outline the user experience and the work that you guys put behind design. So as the next question, I was also wondering if you could tell us and our listeners a little bit about the design flow. Like, how does, let's say, a design implementation from the team at Hipo that works on the design gets discussed and then flown into the actual implementation by you guys that work on the front-end side?
We have great product team and design team for it. Our product team creating wireframes for our flows, and product team and design team decides how UIs can be, and we involve this to actually we involve this process too, and we create beautiful UIs with product team and design team. Our design team is experienced in Algorand ecosystem because they worked on Algorand wallet before Pera Mobile Wallet, and they worked on Algorand governance. They worked on Dynaman. They worked on a lot of Algorand ecosystem projects, and they have a lot of experience about user experience on Algorand ecosystem, and they are creating beautiful UIs and challenging UIs for us. Sometimes we are struggling with creating their design in our front-end system, but it was fun in every challenge was fun in this process.
And I suppose you guys rely mostly on Figma for things like that?
Yeah, we use Figma mostly.
Yeah, and there's a really nice ecosystem there of additional plugins that also simplify the conversion from the designs into actual React components. But I'm sure you guys are also on top of this in this regard. So, looking into the roadmap in regards to the Web3 version of the Pera Wallet, what's the future roadmap for both mobile and the web version look like? How can people interested in contributions, because everything is open source, if you want to see how a button is implemented in the interface, you could go on GitHub and essentially find information about that. If you could share some information, that would be great.
Looking ahead, Pera Wallet is set to make significant improvements both on mobile and web platforms, with a focus on streamlining the user experience. The first developments set to be released include new on and off-ramp options and the NFT aggregator. For on and off-ramp options, I am working on it, and we are working on it with my teammates. And this will be good integrations for applications and wallets. NFT aggregators will simplify the process to buying and selling NFTs, and as well as make it easier for users to manage their digital assets. In the near future, Pera will also be adding the portfolio balance history and account backup service, further enhancing with wallet capabilities. And people can contribute to Pera project in several ways, including by reporting bugs and suggesting new features, by participating in community discussions, and by contributing to open source code on GitHub. Whether you are a developer or just passionate about the Algorand ecosystem, there are many ways to involve and help make the Pera even better. Actually, we are all about community here. That's why you can find us on Discord, Reddit, and Telegram. Always eager to engage and chat with our members. Our team is dedicated to fostering a strong, vibrant community, and you can find us regularly online, especially on our Discord server. Don't be shy. Come say hi and join the conversation in our Discord channel.
Nice. So from my side, like, I would certainly also make sure to include the links to both mobile version on Android, iOS, and then the references to the web version. So with that,
they can reach these links from perawallet.app.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if there's any additional specific links you would like me to include in the description of the episode, just let me know after we finish with the recording. But okay. Since we sort of went over the main questions in the section, I still would like to use a bit of time as we have to ask a bit more open questions in regards to the Algorand ecosystem in general. But one of those particular things I was also wondering on is regarding the ASA verification program that you guys have at Pera, which I think is also a generally, back in the days, I recall this was one of the first proper attempts at finding a procedure or trying to standardize some sort of procedure for creators in the ecosystem to come in and actually validate their projects as part of some sort of non-formal compliance to eliminate potential malicious players or people who can potentially scam and things like that. How did the program change over the past years, and are there any plans to further sort of strengthen or further standardize the let's say asset verification process with folks from Algorand? And I'm also aware that there is a similar verification process on Algo Explorer by Rank Gallery. So I was sort of wondering if multiple players in the ecosystem, including Algorand themselves, have some plans in regards to further solidifying this.
I am not sure about the next things came to SA verification program, but we are starting to implement we are trying to implement decentralized applications verification to our wallets. Like if you know this decentralized applications name and logo, we will show this in our web wallet. And we try to decrease our users' security thoughts with doing this, and mostly that's all about the SA verification part. I am not sure about what will come, but maybe one day Thailand will inform us better about this in this podcast. Maybe that's all. That's all about my side.
I see. And since you yourself are a front-end developer, I also have a few sort of open-ended questions in regards to front-end development, specifically within the domain of Web3. So given your experience with front-end, what would you say are the main aspects of front-end development within the context of decentralized applications and front-end development in more traditional Web2 environments?
I think there is a lot of difference in Web3 and Web2. I mostly face challenges in Wallet Connect implementation in Web3. We don't have this in Web2 applications. I think for me, most challenging part is Wallet Connect, because we faced a lot of issues in Wallet Connect part. They changed their implementations and they released V2 version of Wallet Connect. We tried to migrate this in our Pera Connect site because we are using Wallet Connect protocol in Pera Connect for connecting with mobile apps. Web application doesn't use Wallet Connect. We are using some messaging protocols between tabs for it in Pera Connect site and Web Wallet site. And I think this wallet issues and wallet related things is mostly different parts from Web2, and that's all.
And to expand a little bit more about a few things you mentioned in regards to the future roadmap, one thing that caught my attention as well is you mentioned that there is also plans for a service that would allow you to back up your wallets, which is, well, it certainly sounds like an interesting premise. Any chance you could shed some more high-level details in regards to how does the feature is going to work and whether it's going to be available in both web and mobile versions?
I didn't understand the question properly. Can you try it?
Yeah.
Can you repeat it?
When mentioning the future roadmap, I believe you mentioned that there is also a plan for you guys to introduce a backup for the accounts. So sort of curious how you guys are going to have this feature available, whether it's going to be both on mobile and the web version. And I'm also curious on, whether it's going to be something that each new user or existing user opts in by default, or it's going to be something that, you can optionally enable if you want to, because I suppose there would be some interesting ways to make sure that the access to the wallet is secure, that the private key is securely backed up and things like that. So I'm curious on how you guys are planning to have this feature implemented, actually.
This is on our roadmap right now. Our backend team is working on this. We have experienced backend team on Algorand ecosystem. We have a lot of experienced developers, like experienced persons like Fergal and Yit. They are working on backup service right now. I am not sure about the implementation details because right now is backend working on it. I am not sure about on front-end side and mobile side right now, but we want to uh, release this new update for our users as soon as possible.
I see. Yeah, would certainly be a nice feature to have, and would be curious to see some information on the approach in regards to the implementation, but that's a question for another episode, I suppose. So moving further away from the discussion on the web wallet, unless, I know we sort of went through this on the high level, and the intent was mostly to outline the main information about this new release. Unless there's anything else you would like to add in regards to the web wallet, we can proceed to the next session.
We have a lot of things built. We have a lot of new features for web wallet in the future. We want to implement new account detail page, and we released NF domains feature this week. Now we are supporting NF domains on sending assets to another account. We have a lot of new features about Pera Web Wallet, and stay tuned.
Nice. If you guys have any generalist hooks that you find useful across different products that you build, I just wanted to highlight the awesome hooks repository I did a couple of weeks ago. Currently, there's only hooks that allow you to do a quick lookup for metadata from the NFD servers and a few helper functions, but the intent there is to let anyone contribute if folks would eventually want like a nice collection of generalist tools and helpers. And I'll be adding a few additional things over the couple of next months. So, all right, let's continue to advices for software engineers. And before I sort of ask the final recent question to the podcast in regards to advices to upcoming engineers, I wanted to ask a few more specific things about dev tooling. I don't often ask this on the podcast when we do deep dives, but was also curious on sort of the common to-go IDEs and tools that you guys use for the front-end work. If I may ask, like, what's your ideal coding setup for developing in TypeScript?
We have create React app template with TypeScript. We have a lot of ESLint rules and stylint rules in our code base. We try to write clean projects and show users clean code base, because our project is open source and everyone can contribute this. And
but I guess in my case, I'm more interested in sort of your personal preferences towards the tooling that allows you to, develop and build things efficiently. Things like IDEs, or you mentioned ESLint, but what's your sort of preferred dev environment? I would say,
like VS Code or something like that. I am using generally VS Code, Visual Studio Code, but I saw new editor released by IntelliJ IDEA.
Oh, you mean WebStorm?
JetBrains, not WebStorm, but Fleet, new editor released by JetBrains, like VS Code.
But I think I think you know what you were talking about. Fleet, right? I think they're still in preview But that's a competitive offering from the folks at JetBrains. All right, so I guess. Sorry, there's one more additional question I wanted to ask before we proceed to the final one. Just give me a few seconds. I will scroll this up. What are your general thoughts on the very, very rapidly emerging market of AI tools that assist development? Have you tried playing with things like GitHub Copilot, or perhaps trying to build some sort of or reuse some sort of language model to speed up development? And what are your general thoughts on this?
Generally, I used ChatGPT in my school things, not for job things. Sometimes I search for my homeworks. Mostly, I use ChatGPT for it, but I am using GitHub Copilot in my coding process, and this helps me in some function declarations and some code applications. I think this is a good features, but in AI process, AI will be AI is very new for us, for all people, and we will see what will happen.
I guess the interesting tool that I might also suggest personally that I find very useful for Python and TypeScript and anything dynamic, and I believe they recently got acquired, but I suggest checking out this thing called Pony Code, which is basically a plugin for VS Code that you can enable. They also use a language model, and with a single click, you could essentially have a stub and parameterize a unit test for you. So it basically, I know that you could do this thing with GitHub Copilot as well, but that particular integration is optimized specifically for unit testing. I found it very, helpful for cases when you quickly need to have a general coverage with unit tests in the code base. But yeah, it's a very exciting and I'd say very emerging market at the moment. So curious to see how it's going to be developing. So moving on to the final part, what advice would you give to software engineers, or let's say in your case, front-end engineers who are interested in developing on Algorand blockchain, or just generally getting into Web3 space and ecosystems?
I think Algorand ecosystem is a very good environment for new entrants to this field. We have many sources in this area. One of them is Algorand Developer Portal. This continues to develop by Hipo right now. People can find many useful resources related to crypto and Algorand blockchain here. At the same time, there are challenges here, and people can both learn something and can win NFTs here with try to solve challenges. For students like me, my advice is follow the internship applications of Hipo, one of the strong companies in this field. Here they can learn a lot about both for their fields and Algorand during their internship period. There are also many open source projects in this field. I think people can also learn something by reading and contributing them. As in every other field, following useful resources and contributing to open source projects is the best thing they can do, in my opinion.
And yeah, as mentioned in many of the episodes, it is indeed a general consensus when it comes to different devices that, in most cases, when it comes to developments, practical applications of it are usually the fastest way to learn something. And with that, I'd like to thank you very much to join this episode in the podcast. And I'm always happy to have folks from the Hipo Labs. I think you guys have certainly built a very, very promising ecosystem, and I wish you all the best with the roadmap. And once again, thanks for joining this episode.